Hello grapplers and welcome to a new video. The patch just released. Before that, I want to really appreciate everyone who has been commenting so far. This whole year has been crazy. Today is my birthday, if you're wondering. Very happy how things are doing, and I really appreciate everyone who gives me the time to watch these simple videos. So thank you so much in advance. Now let's go into the patch. All of these characters, Jaime, Ken, Cammy, Akuma, and Bison, sweeps were rearranged. Now it is easier for the opponent, if they block a sweep, to counter it with something. That's a good change. Now the changes vary character per character, but usually it is more negative on block and pushback. Cancel SPD has been removed in a way. You'll see that in this example, I'm gonna use a meaty throw. That one. If I do the jump cancel SPD, I get counter hit. However, if I go for a meaty command grab, I can't do the jump cancel SPD. So it is more or less 90% gone. If you're escaping or trying to escape a command grab, you might as well just forward jump instead of going for a jump cancel SPD. I'm not gonna analyze every single character because I feel it will take a little bit of time, so I'm just gonna highlight a few things that are very important. Overall, every single character had a dry meter increase or a super increase for certain moves. One that so far stands out the most is the Sandblast, but the OD one now is better in terms of poking. You'll see that it had the upper hurt box, the upper body now expands forwards on the 19th frame, so it's harder to punish, and also wall splat if you follow up with a third attack, which is kinda not already, but this is probably gonna be a big changer for this character in the future, because he will now be able to dash twice. I don't know if this is a good idea. Everything else is mostly combo related. Amy, you'll see that the crouching heavy kick, the pushback on block of the second hit is when only the second attack is blocked, is now reduced. So this is a good thing. You will be able to almost always punish Jaime. This is fantastic. And there were some changes to some of his combos. However, the standing heavy kick, the reduced hurtbox on the front legs during the attack startup is very strange. This move is very spammable. So we'll have to see if this actually changes something. In the case of Manon, they did something very intelligent, very interesting. You get more super art gauge if you have metal level 3, 4, or 5. The Manon player actually needs to get to metal level 3 to basically have a higher damaging command grab and more super. This is a good thing. And there are some consistency combos changes like this one, which is probably for combos only. And the standing heavy kick on hit is now +1. This is somewhat of a big change, but the punish counter didn't change. It's only the regular hit, so it's probably for consistency when poking. This is something you'll see also applied to Honda in a few seconds. Kimberly's overall very buffed. Reduce the technique of the water slicer slide. At some point the frames would change depending on how she used it. Now it's flat. It means it will always be -5 on block and +1 on hit. Depending on how you look at it, this reduces the skill gap of the Kimberly players and they will be spamming this move more often. So I don't know if that's a good thing. Almost everything else, like the standing heavy punch was buffed, the crouching light kick was buffed, even the crouching light punch was buffed. So there's a lot of things going on. She will be a very annoying character. They gave her also the forward heavy kick. It's now harder to counter, which is the kick where she jumps. After hitting you, she jumps back. So that's also something very important for her. I think this character is very buffed. We'll see what happens with her in the future. Is another buffed character, Crouching Heavy Punch, because I just saw a combo on Twitter which was very naughty. I don't know, the Crouching Heavy Punch now is better in every single sense. Down forward heavy now produces a knockdown by 10 extra frames. That means she doesn't have to drive rush. Insane. And also the Superman Punch, the Phalanx, has more active frames, better hitbox, and gives more meter. So I'm curious. I'm not necessarily happy with the things they're doing with Marisa. I'm pretty scared of what she'll be in the future, but she's a better character for sure. Really another buffed character. If you're standing and she hits you with the Shoryuken, but with the Windstock Shoryuken, she has more opportunities for combos. They buffed that target combo that didn't work that often, which was for forward heavy punch. Now she can actually use it. In fact, the target combo is actually pretty buffed. And the crouching light punch is like Zangief. It is +6 on hit. Overall, also a very buffed character. JP is mostly the same. This one didn't change that much. Standing medium punch gives more meter. The one I'm more curious about is the super level 2, because if he hits you punish counter, the projectiles remain on screen. It's not necessarily something that will happen all the time. It's mostly against parries, but we'll see if this actually increases the effectiveness of super level 2 with a punish counter. Juri, very buffed. Crouching heavy punch, more combo potential, and this was already a pretty annoying button. And the standing heavy kick, also pretty annoying. You'll see more drive gauge. So, yeah. Deejay, well, the maximum jackknife, the medium, and the heavy now are better anti-airs. And they fixed his combo potential from the backsway medium kick. Cammy was nerfed. Crouching medium punch, if you whiff it, it recovers in... It takes more time to recover. The hurtbox was expanded forwards, which is a good thing. And probably the two more interesting things are the dive kick is now always 0 or +2 or -2 to -4. This means on block you will always be able to counter poke her if she tries to do something, and 0 or +2 at best on hit. So this actually changes a lot of Cammy. She will have to be very, very careful about the way she uses the dive kicks. You will be able to block it and be perfectly fine. It might not even be necessary to abuse the standing heavy punch in our case. Interesting. And also the Shoryuken, the cannon spike, no longer side switches, which is pretty wild. That means she will no longer be able to escape the corner with a wake up Shoryuken. They went crazy with Ryu. There's a lot of things going on, but my biggest issue is the heavy blade kick, the donkey kick, the heavy one. Now it's -3 from -5. It gives more drive gauge. The knockdown is decreased by 1 frame and it is faster. And they literally say they wanted this move to be used in the neutral. I think that's a pretty good move, it was pretty difficult to punish already, but now they actually made it so you just cannot punish, at least on block. This will be pretty annoying to deal with, because if you go for the standing heavy punch, for example, with Zangief, he can see the armor and confirm it to super level 3, so I'm not sure this is the right way of buffing that move. You also have more damage for the overdrive Hashogeki. So there's a lot of weird stuff over here. Ryu is definitely buffed. The two big things are the standing heavy punch on hit is now +1. Command grab is 6 frames. And when he goes for the walk attack, the OD one, where he walks and hits you with the hands, now that's +3 on block, which means a mix-up into the command grab, poking. So he has a really decent mix-up on block. And well, if he hits you with those, they do more drive gauge. So overall, pretty buffed character. Blanka remains mostly the same. The only change is forward medium kick, the two knees. They're more consistent for almost everything. I don't know if the wild nail, the forward heavy punch, is gonna change that much. His characters are really pretty strong. With Guile, nothing that interesting. Just the Sonic Cross. The wall bounce of the Sonic Cross is just better. The Super Level 1 and OD Choryukens don't give the same Oki, but that's a good thing. He has two drivers, and we need to test, but I'm gonna guess he's not that plus. The forward step kick when he runs and hits you with a medium kick, that has initial 20% scaling. Very significant. That means probably Ken players won't use it as a combo ender as they were before, and the crouching heavy kick now is very punishable. So overall, pretty decent nerfs. The character is still pretty the same. I mean, he's gonna Dragon Lash. He's gonna go crazy still. Chun-Li, I feel, is mostly quality of life changes from the Serenity stream. The stance, she has faster attacks and better. I don't know if this is gonna change anything really that significant, so we'll have to see. And our boy, Zangief. So I find pretty funny that they actually say that the Jump Cancel SPD was a big thing to be removed, but they feel he's strong enough to compete. All these throws now give more super art gauge. This is not really that significant because Brainbuster might be the only one you actually want to use, but the forward throw is whatever, and the Russian drop, you get it because you are trying to do something else. You're just holding down back and you press the throw, so I don't know if this is a decent change. It's okay. I mean, the power stomps, interestingly, power stomps now give more drive gauge. However, they mentioned the 3 power stomps, and you already know by this point that the first and the second one's combo, third one does not. I don't know what you would go for the power stomps instead of the headbutt Hellstaff Lariat, which builds way more meter, and the Oki is better. So at this point, I don't think they know what to do with the power stomps, and they said that Siberian Express, they had a bug fixed, which means it will depend on the distance, but Siberian Express was not working. I tested a little bit, and it seems like Siberian Express is just the same. So we'll have to see if we actually trigger Russian suplex where we don't want to, or Siberian Express. We'll have to see. But so far, I don't think this bug fix is enough. Dhalsim is mostly the same. Better combos from lights, when you're chaining, more dry gauge. He was already pretty buffed in the previous patch. We'll have to see, for example, the overdrive yoga arc. Relax the tension for making projectiles disappear when they leave the camera's view. That's something that happened. Now the fireball will remain a little bit more if the fireball is not on screen. So that's a buff. And the Yoga Fire with 2 punches, the blowback distance has been reduced, so he has probably a better combo after the Yoga Fire. Rashid, mostly the same. The most interesting thing is that the OD spinning mixer supposedly doesn't give a free super level 2, we'll have to see. And the slide, when he's running in slides, has a 20% initial scaling. I don't think he got that nerfed. In fact, I think he's mostly the same character, because he will still throw you and do super level 2. Aki has been buffed, especially this, the heavy serpent lash. It says that it reduced the combo count additional value when Toxin Blossom is triggered. So if you're poisoned, which is a very simple thing to do with Aki, you just throw the poison pool and they're gonna be poisoned. Now you get more combos for the heavy serpent lash, the anti-air. She might get even better combos, because I don't think she's supposed to have all those anti-airs, but now she has one that is actually pretty good. This one is pretty good as an anti-air, even better than Crouching Heavy Kick. Now in terms of nerfs, these are the 3 characters that lost the most here: Ed, Akuma, and Bison. There's a lot of things to cover. The most important thing for me is that the standing medium kicks and crouching medium kicks now have the increased hurtbox forwards when they're whiffing. This means basically for Zangief, you can use standing heavy punch way more often if they whiff. Maybe significantly so, we'll have to see. The crouching light kick is now +2 on hit, which is also a huge thing. And the Psycho Blitz is -4 instead of -3 on block. Overall, there are some other changes. You'll see that over here that he has more changes. But those really hurt the character. So he might not be able to just throw standing medium kicks all the time as he was in the previous patch. Now Akuma walks back slower now. If you go into the game, you'll see that it's barely noticeable. The sweep now is easier to punish. This is a good thing because his sweep is actually punishable, if I remember correctly, by your own sweep, so that's good. The Rezo Snap Kick, the very annoying mid he has, now the hurtbox has been expanded forward when he whiffs, and 1 extra frame. This means that he might be able to be punished by standing heavy punch or a sweep, which is very significant. No more walking back forward medium kicks. Also, the Hadouken was nerfed, expanding the hurtbox forward after the attack startup. For the regular one in the OD one, this is something that should have been in the game in the first place. And when he tries to go over you with the demon flip and he presses nothing, you hold down with Akuma and he doesn't do anything, he has extra 5 frames of landing recovery. At first it sounds amazing, but if you whiff your lariat, you still get punished. So this is mostly for you to not press anything. If you see the Akuma player going to the other side, you press nothing, and now you can punish more reliably with SPD or even headbutt. You do have to be careful because he has a slide. He can do it and just don't press anything, and that slide is very annoying too, so you still need to be careful. As for Bison, he got a few changes. Almost everything is a nerf. We'll have to see how the Devil Reverse works now, because he has a few changes to it, especially when you have the bomb planted. Overall, I think the most significant thing is that the OD Psycho Crusher deals less damage when you have the bomb, which is a good thing. Double knee press, the overdrive, the launcher basically, it has a 20% scaling now, less damage. And they made some changes again to the Shadow Rise, for example this one, which is just a regular jump. It says that he has a hurtbox around the feet. When he jumps, he should be able to be punished, but not by fireballs. So you can maybe poke him when he's trying to jump away with that thing if you have him cornered. And the big one is the Devil Reverse, as I said, but there's a few things going on over here. For example, if you have the bomb attached, the recovery of final attack on block changed from 23 frames to 27 frames, and if you have the bomb planted, the land recovery changed from 9 to 8 frames. So it's weird how they're balancing this move. The hurtbox of the attack active frames, when basically the arm of Bison now is expanded downwards and sideways, so you should be able to lariat more often. So I think this is something we'll have to see in an actual match. We have to go into training mode and see what's going on with this, because you might be able to just jump with medium punch as you were before, more consistent. And finally, Terry, who is escaping. I think this guy in the future is going to be an issue. So far, standing heavy punch is now +1 on block, which means if you drive rush, you're going to be having a +5, +5, +5. I don't know if that's a good idea. Crouching medium punch reduces the pushback on hit. This is for combos mainly. And the weird thing is the medium crack shoot is now +3 on hit. So he has a legit mix-up when he hits you with it. Everything else is pretty decent. In fact, something I really like is that now you're forced to do the QCV when you go for the power geyser. Overall, I feel like these changes are okay. They said it was going to be a small patch. In terms of our boy, Zangief, I'm not really sure how they want to buff this character. I have zero clue what they want to do with this guy in the future, like in the next big patch. They wrote that they feel the character is still pretty strong, which I agree in some instances. I think he's strong, but not necessarily top tier as people make him out to be. I think the issue with these throws is not necessarily, or was not necessarily, the gauge you gain from them. It was mostly the Oki you have, because German suplex, the forward throw, is awful. The Russian drop is also pretty bad. Brainbuster is pretty good though. Instead of more drive gauge, they could have just rework every single throw he has for different Okis, different situations. Nope. So I'm not really sure. And the power stomps buff is just strange. The Russian suplex to be not cancelable from lights or any button. That would be the fix to this issue. But they decided against it. So I'm not really sure what's the direction they want to take with Zangief. And besides Zangief losing the jump cancel SPD, he didn't receive any nerfs. So that's a good thing, I guess. People expected Zangief to be more nerfed in this patch, but he already got pretty hard in the previous ones. Remember to go to the Siberian Lab, twitch.tv/Siberian Lab. Thank you again for all the time you've been giving to this channel. I hope I can see you, well, during one of my streams maybe. Take care of yourselves, hydrate, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.